today's video, I give you some surprise homework. It's almost time for that homework. I attempt to pronounce the word Taos correctly. Taos, Volkswagen Taos. And we finally reveal Mrs. Jax's actual name.
I'm not Mrs. Jax.
Let's start with the homework. As I've said numerous times before, I'm a high school teacher, so receiving homework with your car review shouldn't be all that surprising. In the description of this video is a Google form, and that Google form should tell us, and by us I mean me and Mazda and I guess you, a lot more about what people actually value in their premium vehicle purchases. So stay tuned for all of that. See, I really love Mazdas. They're some of the best looking, best handling mainstream vehicles in the automotive kingdom. But sadly, I don't think that the market cares about all that as much as an enthusiast dad like me kind of wishes it would. I want everyone to value Mazda's driving dynamics and sort of enthusiasm. But sadly, I think most people are just concerned by how fast their new car connects to Apple CarPlay. For example, Mazda's turbo four-cylinder here makes 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque when filled with premium fuel. And in this segment of vehicles, that is fantastic. It's far ahead of pretty much any of the competitors in this class, definitely far ahead of any of its mainstream rivals. And you feel that power too. See, this turbo engine is always willing and always ready. And if you put premium and you get that 320 pound-feet of torque, it feels like a ton in a vehicle this size. Downside is that the 6-speed auto is just not making the most out of it. Not as much as it used to. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, you'd be like, this is fine, you know, and a 6-speed automatic wouldn't be a big deal, but it's just not quite as crisp as it used to be. I think that's the main thing. And on the note of the transmission, many of the Mazda CX-30's competitors are moving to dual clutches and CVTs, chasing either more responsiveness or more fuel economy. Yeah, as an enthusiast, CVTs aren't great, but unfortunately, sales numbers show that customers really don't seem to mind. I mean, that could be a bit of an issue when your whole ethos is kind of based on performance and it's centered around the driver. I mean, speaking of centered around the driver, for example, I'm 6'6", and look at how great I fit in this driver's seat. I mean, this driver's seat was tailor-made for the act of driving. There's plenty of room up here in the front seats. They've got just enough kind of bolstering to hold you in place and remind you that this is supposed to be a driver-centric vehicle. And they've got good lumbar. They're very comfortable for long stretches without being kind of overly soft. But then again, you have to remember that I love it and I'm an enthusiast dad, but part of the point of this channel is to bring you an enthusiast perspective kind of wrapped in practicality. A lot of mainstream customers now in 2023 are going to notice the sort of relatively boring gauge cluster, the smallish infotainment screen that's controlled by kind of outdated controls. I have apologized for Mazda's sort of little center rotary knob here for years, but the industry is moving on. And you have to either have a responsive touchscreen that runs Apple CarPlay instantly or some other clever way of controlling the car, especially in the luxury brands. Also, people are going to be disappointed by the radar cruise control because it's not as comprehensive as stuff that you'd find in something like a Honda. And Mazdas have always done well with their interior design and materials quality. And the interior in here still does feel like it's a cut above some of the competition, but it used to feel like it was a cut above of all of the competition. And that's just not the case. And who even is the competition, you might be asking? Well, this is where Mazda has gotten itself into a little bit of a pickle.
I'm Pickle Rick!
For the past couple of years. Mazda wants to be premium, if not luxury, and it's leaned hard on its driving dynamics and design and materials over the years. But I'm not sure, to a lot of consumers, that's enough to make up for just 20 cubic feet of cargo space and a frankly unusable back seat. Yeah, I know, I'm super tall, but honestly, if you're 6 foot or so, the back seat is not suitable for anything above a toddler. I have no prayer of sitting behind myself in something like the Mazda CX-30. However, I did manage to sit behind myself in the Honda HR-V. See?
Okay, so we're checking out the cargo space. Decent, actually. More than I would have thought. So,
Only 20 cubic feet.
oh, that's not big?
Not really.
I mean, it looks pretty big. You could fit a suitcase and a person
And a suitcase. A suitcase.
and a person.
Oh, I thought you said a purse.
No, a person.
Oh,
A person. I
Purse
can
is
fit
probably
there.
more accurate.
No, I can fit here. See? See? It's pretty big.
You're gonna chop your head off.
Well, I can duck, but I can fit. I actually think it's pretty decent. And I'm saying that because there's not, like, you could fit more things than you could fit people, I think.
You have to choose in this.
Yeah, people or things. You can't have both.
Right, which is a problem for children.
Yeah, if I was riding in this, I'd rather ride back here, I think, than in the seat, which is not good for safety. Children don't do that. Yeah, cargo decent. Inside for people.
Mrs.
people-
Jack's PSA, children don't ride in the
Children
back.
don't ride in the back. Everyone wear your seatbelt.
Look, when it comes to looks, the Mazda CX-30 is still beautiful. I mean, Mazda does paint better than most any mainstream brand, and honestly, it does paint better than quite a few of the luxury brands. I mean, I know Crystal Soul Red Metallic or whatever is their signature color, but this sort of liquid metal look, ooh, man, I love the way that this thing looks. The lights, the profile, the stance, they've all been kind of refined into what I would call aspirational designs. It looks very enticing. But as BMW has proven recently, abandoning some of your sort of core identity and, well, attractiveness in design in the name of chasing corporate profits might be a better path to success.
Greed is right.
Even if we'd rather it not be. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. Also, it's almost time for that homework. In typical Mazda fashion, the dynamics in this thing are awesome. The ride is firm. It's probably a little bit more firm than some people would like. Initial impacts can be a bit hard, but the suspension controls body motions just absolutely fantastic. Like, that is the magic of Mazda, the way that the car turns in, the way that it feels sort of centered around the driver. The dynamics are awesome. All of your primary controls, your steering, your pedals, are dialed in as you'd expect them to be in a Mazda. The steering is light and accurate. I love the way this wheel feels. The pedal responsiveness is practically flawless. Throttle tip-in where you just give just the right amount of power, combined with this engine, feels great, and the brake pedal is firm enough. It has a progressive kind of feel to it as you stand on the brakes. Maybe you need just a tad more bite, but definitely feels better than most of the competition. The real question is any of that good enough to convince the target audience? Do they care all that much? I'm on one of the back roads near where I live, and this CX-30 is just absolutely composed and smooth, and it feels pleasant to drive. For someone like me who's into this kind of thing, it feels pleasant to drive. It's enjoyable to drive, even though it's doing its little small SUV impression. But does the target audience care? And I think to understand that better, we have to ask someone who fits more within that target audience.
Okay, so first of all, it's freezing. You're welcome, honey, for doing this for you. So this is a Mazda CX-30. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's like really small, so not really my cup of tea, but if you like a small SUV, maybe you just have one kid or no kids or two small kids, it would be good. Can I go inside?
You can try.
Okay. Well, I can't. Like, that has a tiny back seat. Now, there are little, things for the, so like a baby could fit here, but like no toddlers. So I am 5'9". Like this is a no-go. So if you want people back here that are tall people, not short people, I mean, I guess if you got short people, then.
That's behind me.
Yeah, but that's how I would drive, right? Maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
yes, you like your legs straight out.
Okay, let's get in
Why
the
don't
front.
you sit there and see?
That's what I'm doing. I don't need you to tell me what to do. Oh yeah, this is where I would drive. And like I said, I'm really 5'8.5", but I round up. So I'm 5'9", and I just barely, I fit, but like no one's gonna fit back there. But if you're wanting like a sporty, I don't care who's in the back seat kind of car, I like it. It looks luxurious on the inside. I'm gonna have to ding it because, and I'm going rogue here. I decided to bring props.
Uh-oh.
Everyone has a Stanley, like literally everybody. Well, a lot of the women. It really doesn't fit here. So, Mazda, like, do better. I don't fit the Stanley. I don't know. Like my citrus drop fits fine. And yes, I drink
Citrus
Big
drop?
K Cola.
Wow.
Don't
This
judge
channel
me.
needs to do a lot better.
We can't afford Mountain Dew, so I have to go with citrus drop. The console's decent, but it's kind of small. So I'm digging it for that. It doesn't shut.
Yeah, that lid is tough.
This channel would be nothing without me. But it looks great. It really does look great. Does it drive good? Do you like the way it drives? It rides nice, but do you like the way it drives?
You don't often get to drive the cars, but it drives really good, like
Yeah?
most Mazdas.
Okay, like most Mazdas. And it's nice and safe, I'm sure, like most
Yes,
Mazdas, and
yes.
reliable.
Yes.
So that's good. So if you want a smaller car, or like I said, you don't have kids, and maybe you don't have a Stanley, then I guess this could be a great thing for you.
When I had the Honda HR-V a few months ago, I lamented the fact that it felt a lot like an appliance, but a darn good appliance. You could load one of those up for around $31,000. You could pocket the $6,000 difference between that and this. This is $37,000, and you get far more interior space and loads more cargo room. You could spend a little bit more than this Mazda CX-30's $37,000 price tag and get something like a BMW X1 or X2 and get slightly more cargo space, but a badge that will impress the neighbors, at least until BMW redesigns those to look horrifically ugly. The X2 kinda is sorta weird looking to begin with.
How dare you?
Or you could split the difference and get a Volkswagen Taos, Volkswagen Taos for around the same price and get far more interior space and much more cargo space than almost all of the competition. Which one sounds the most appealing to you? Not just because I'm wondering, because you're a viewer of this channel, but I'm wondering just in general, in this segment of vehicles, this highly competitive segment of vehicles, what matters now?
Mrs. Jax on the Mazda CX-30.
Okay, first of all, I'm not Mrs. Jax.
Uh-oh.
Because I am my own person. I'm really the star of this channel now, and my name's Megan. So
Uh-oh.
nice
Mrs.
to meet
Jax,
you. Call me Megan.
Name reveal.
No more Mrs. Jax. I don't like it. It was fine when I wasn't a big part of the channel, but now that I'm the superstar and what everybody's really coming here to see, I need my name, my personality. So Megan. Okay, so Megan's thoughts on the car. I like the side view. I don't like the front. You said people like the front, but I don't like the front.
Most people like Mazdas. I like Mazdas.
I don't like this. Ooh, that guy.
Really?
It's like it sticks out. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't like it. I don't think it's cute. The wheel, the lights are kind of funky. So from the front.
It's like people's favorite part of Mazdas.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm allowed to have my own opinion.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Megan's
I'm not Mrs.
opinion.
Jax. That's right. I can have my own opinions. I do like the wheels.
Yeah.
Is that like a standard?
I mean,
issue
this is
wheel?
the top trim.
Oh, it's the top trim.
Yeah.
Can you get the top trim wheels with a not top trim car?
Well, this front looks the same. They don't change the front.
No, I'm saying if you want these wheels, because these wheels are looking good, but you don't
yeah.
want the whole thing.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I like it from the side, but not the front. And the wheels are top 10. So overall, inside, I'm so cold. Inside, I'm going to give it a, can I rate the front seat and the back seat different?
I mean,
Can
I
I do a
would
separate
probably
rating?
just go with the whole.
Okay, then I'm going to do what I want to do. I like the front seat like a 9 out of 10. And like
Okay.
the back seat like a 3 out of 10. If you don't want people there, sure, give it a 9 out of 10. It looks great. Cargo, 7 out of 10. I could
Okay.
fit, but you said it was only 20 cubic feet, which is small. So outer view, exterior is what most people would call it.
Styling.
Exterior styling, like a 6.5.
Thanks.
Sorry, I like it more trucky, but I really do like the inside and the front seat and the interior of the front, back seat up.
That was complicated.
You're complicated. I'm a complicated woman now. I have my own name.
Oh, God.
Anything else you want me to talk about?
No, backing away.
Time for that homework. In the description of this video is a link to a Google form with a series of very short questions about the Mazda CX-30 and this particular market segment. My goal here is to see what matters to customers and whether or not the driving dynamics of a vehicle are the selling point that I, and certainly Mazda, hope that they are. I'm afraid right now we're all in the midst of sort of a great automotive identity crisis as different brands wonder what exactly matters more to customers in this sort of technologically advanced world. As we've seen BMW move away from sort of pushing driving dynamics to the forefront, I wonder if Mazda, at least in part, will follow suit. In any case, I want you guys to at least try to help me sort it out, and I'll let you know if I find out anything interesting right here on the channel. Look, I like Mazda a lot. This all comes from a place of love, I promise you that. You can watch my previous videos on the brand, especially the CX-5 and the CX-50, which I both really enjoy and highly recommend, to see how I feel about Mazda in general. I want them to win, but I don't have blinders on, and I can be critical of brands or models even when I happen to personally really like them, because I want to deliver the most value to the people watching my videos. I personally really like the Mazda CX-30, especially with this turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. I like the driving dynamics, I like the power, I like the design, and I still mostly like the features. But the fact of the matter is that this vehicle costs $37,000 fully loaded. It doesn't have cooled seats, it has an old infotainment system, and it has a middling radar cruise control. Not to mention that when I'm driving it, it becomes about as spacious as a Toyota GR86. I could never own this. For my tall family, this vehicle is just simply far too small. And you might be like, well, but Jax, you could get a lower trim. You could save some money, but then you lose out on some of the options, or you lose out on this turbocharged engine. And the sort of base model 4-cylinder is just very fine. There's nothing really that kind of stupendous about it, whereas the Turbo 4 stands out within the segment. And at that point, shouldn't you just get a Honda HR-V or a Toyota Corolla Cross?
It's true.
Or apparently a GR86? Now, jump into the description and do your freaking homework.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
And let me know what you think. Guys, I've got a number of Mazda reviews on this channel, so please consider watching another one or click on the playlist to see some other reviews of other vehicles in this category. And until next time, of course, drive safe, and I'll see you in the next review, all right? Peace.
All right.
Are we starting? I don't remember the name of the car.
Yeah, drive by again. Drive by again, random guy in a diesel truck carrying a fence. It's like crappy car day at the park.